Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and those who have subscribed, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't yet subscribed, guys, please do so. It will take you less than 2 seconds. By subscribing, this will help this video to get to all those who want to learn about data analytics, and it will also help grow this platform further, guys. So kindly do so, and without any further ado, let's jump right into this. So today we're diving into the world of data analysis, and in particular we're going to look at 3 data analysis tools powerhouses, which are Excel, Python, and SQL. Others might call it SQL, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. So we want to compare these 3 powerhouses and see when do you use these powerhouses. And just like everything in life, guess what? It depends. There is no one size fits all, and depending on what you want to do is when you choose the tool that fits you best. So we want to compare all these 3 powerhouses and see examples of when you could use them, why you should use them, and the pros and cons of using any one of them. So let's start this out. So let's start with the OG Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is basically a spreadsheet with rows and columns which has inbuilt functions that can help you easily manipulate your data. Let me give you a basic real-life example of when you could use Microsoft Excel. For example, if you wanted to draw up a simple budget which has your income, your expenditures like rent, groceries, utilities, and you want to know on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis how this relates. So Excel will be very great for this because it has easily built-in functions like sum, average, mean, that you can easily do such basic calculations. What are the pros of using Excel? Excel is great because it has a very simple user interface that can be easily understood by very many people, so it doesn't have a high learning curve. Secondly, it has so many great built-in functions that with a click of a button you can easily manipulate your data, and it doesn't require a lot of searching and a lot of high-level knowledge for you to be able to use these functions. The cons. What are the cons of using Excel? One of the very first cons of using Microsoft Excel is that it doesn't handle large data volumes easily. The larger your spreadsheet grows, the more difficult it is for Microsoft Excel to be able to manipulate and to analyze this data effectively. So you end up having a spreadsheet that takes a long time to load, it takes a long time to carry out calculations, which may hinder the purpose which you chose this tool for. Secondly, Microsoft Excel is not very good when it comes to automating tasks. Let me explain this. You may want to have this report when it comes to your expenses and your income on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Automating Excel in order for you to get the value of not having to repeat this manual task on this kind of schedule is not an easy thing to do when it comes to Excel. You would have to manually run this calculation, and if you have a larger spreadsheet, it might take some minutes for you to do. So Excel is limited on that. So let's look at the second powerhouse, which is Python. Python is a programming language that can also be used in data analysis and manipulation, as well as coding for software engineers. So let me give you an example when Python is being used for data analysis, data science, and by data professionals. So imagine if you have a small online store which collects so much data, for example, purchase data, delivery data, and item data stored on it. Python, for example, can help you when you're analyzing this data more efficiently. Let's start with the pros. One of the pros of Python is that it can handle large amounts of data and in very many data types. The data types can include having it in form of a CSV, which is like in Excel. It can be connected directly to a database. It can be connected to a link online. It can be connected through different scripts on different types of data. So Python can be used to get data in so many forms, and it's not limited to only one. So you can connect it to so many data sources and use it to analyze your data effectively regardless of the size. That is the first pro. The second pro when it comes to Python is that it can be used for very many complex analysis. Python is used in machine learning, it's used in artificial intelligence. So Python comes very, very handy when you want to do complex analysis, which may be hindered when it comes to tools like Excel. Thirdly, Python has very, very large supported libraries. For example, Matplotlib and Seaborn and so many other open source software that are supported by millions around the world, who help to always keep this software up to date. So you're always sure that you have up-to-date software which keeps on growing every day by a large community. And also, to add on to that, Python creates very beautiful visualizations using libraries like Matplotlib and Seaborn, which can effectively help you to understand your data further using different colors and different kind of segregations and segments for you to easily analyze your data and drive insights. What are the cons of using Python? The first con is that, as I mentioned before, Python is a programming language. So in order for you to use Python, you definitely have to learn the syntax of using Python. But I should stress that it is not a difficult language to learn, and once you use it, it will become second nature to you. And if you do love it more, it's definitely something that you can use to further your data professional career into becoming a machine learning engineer or an artificial intelligence engineer. You just have to put in the time to learn syntax, but definitely for beginners, the learning curve is high when trying to use this for basic data analytics. The second con that Python has, which I have slightly touched on, is that for simple tasks like sum, average, median, Python is not easy to use when it comes to doing such basic tasks. If I just want to know the sum of 3 rows, why should I have to learn this large amount of syntax? So this definitely can be a hindrance for someone who just wants to do basic aggregations of data. The third powerhouse we have as a data analysis tool is SQL. SQL stands for Standard Query Language, and it's also a programming language that is designed specifically to interact with databases and to retrieve data from databases. Let me give you a real-world example of when you could use SQL. SQL is used, for example, if you had a large website and all your data is stored in one place. The place where its data is stored is called a database. So if you want to retrieve data from this database, SQL is the best language for you that you will be able to use in order to retrieve this data and perform filtering and aggregations. So what are the strengths of SQL? SQL, number one, is designed specifically to interact with databases. As I've just mentioned, this will help you to retrieve your data very easily, especially when it comes to relational databases. Secondly, SQL will also help you to retrieve so many kinds of data, so many types of data when it comes to the database, and it will help you to filter this very easily compared to these other tools which may not be able to interact with the database directly. What are the limitations of SQL? SQL definitely has a high learning curve. You have to learn about relational databases and how SQL relates to the database. When it comes to this, you have to learn the structure of relational databases and how one table is linked to the other. And also, you also have to learn the general syntax of SQL and how you can perform filtering and aggregation using SQL. Knowing all this information definitely can be tasking at first, but with practice, SQL is not a difficult language to learn, and it's very useful if you want to become a data professional. It's very key that you do learn this language so that you can be able to retrieve data directly from the database. Secondly, SQL as a programming language does not have very large or informative visualizations that you may need when it comes to analyzing your data in order to gain insights. Their visualizations are limited, but you definitely have to learn how to work with what you have in order to try to drive the insights that you are trying to achieve with this, or Some platforms which use SQL can allow you to download this data as a CSV, and you can use other tools to analyze this data like Excel or Python if you want to go further in order to do more complex analysis. So there you have it, guys. So in conclusion, I just want to give you a brief summary of what we've talked about. So generally, Excel is great when you want to do simple analysis, simple tasks, and it's great for beginners. Python is great when you want to handle large amounts of data to analyze, and it's also great for carrying out complex analysis like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and other predictive activities that you may want to carry out. And also it has great visualizations that you can use, supported by multitudes of online libraries. And don't forget that SQL reigns supreme when it comes to interacting directly with the database in order for you to do some filtering and aggregation tasks. So depending on what you want to do, just as I said, like anything in life, it depends on the end goal that you want to achieve with this. So choose the tool that's best for you, and that's what you use in order to manipulate your data. Thank you guys for staying with me up to the end of this video, where I have been explaining the difference in the powerhouses of Excel, Python, and SQL when it comes to the differences, when you can use these tools, the strengths and limitations of each. Now that you have gained this information, it's always important to always remember what you want to achieve at the very end, and that will help you to be able to choose the tool that best suits your needs for the purpose which you set out for. So guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do so right now by clicking on the subscribe button below, liking this video, and helping this video reach out to all those who will find this information just as useful as you have found it, guys. And without any further ado, I will see you in the next video. See you then. Bye bye.